Hey, what's up everyone? Back with another video for you here today. Today's video is a card reveal video. It's finally my time to present mine to you. I'm very excited about this. I'm going to save all self-promotional kind of talks, all long introductions. That's not my style. I'm just here to give you guys the card. I'm sure if you're interested to learn more about me and what I do, you'll search me up on your own after this, if it interests you. But I'd like to just go briefly over the format this video will take. So obviously we're going to cut shortly into the card itself. I'm going to go over the specifics of the card, provision cost, rarity, etc. Then we're going to discuss the artwork of the card, perhaps learn more about its origins. Outside of that, to finish the video, we'll be getting into the deck builder, and I'd like to jump in there and show you guys and girls how best we could use this card throughout a match. Perhaps what we could target with it, and also what leader ability would work best with it. So I really hope you're going to enjoy this video. On behalf of Team Creve, let's get into it. So here is the card. The name is Bleeding Effigy. It's a monsters card. It is also a special card, standing at the provision cost of 4, and it has the organic tag. The ability of the card is banish a bronze unit from your opponent's graveyard, then boost an allied unit by its power. If you control Bloody Mistress or Gurnakora, you may target gold units. Okay, so looking at the condition of this card, obviously to get the maximum value out of it, it would be best to play it with Bloody Mistress or Gurnakora, as it states here. But even outside of that, targeting bronze units from your opponent's graveyard can still play for some great value. So it's good to keep those aspects in mind when you'll be incorporating this into your decks. Another thing to keep in mind is the rarity of the card. It's of common rarity, so you can have 2 copies of this in your deck at a time. Now to get into the artwork of the card, guys, when I was looking at the artwork of this card, I really like it. In general, the card and its abilities overall, I do like this card a lot. I think it's quite a good and strong card, a useful card to use. But I do get Major Crone vibes from the artwork, which is why I have this music playing. So in the artwork we can see 2 hands over a voodoo-like doll, if you'd like to call it that. The hands appear to be belonging to possibly a witch, maybe a feminine kind of figure. In the background there appears to be some mushrooms. On the table there, covered by the provision cost of the card, there's actually human teeth there. And the voodoo doll, the insides of it appear to be stuffed with some remains, whether it's an animal's remains or a human's remains, I don't know. And there's blood running down the hands there, so it's pretty gory. But what else would you expect for a monsters card? Also, I guess more fitting to the crone theme is the fact of the overall surrounding of the image. It kind of reminds me of the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, when you first meet the crones and you go into the shelter and you see kind of what their living area is like. So that is the card overall, guys. Let us jump now into the deck builder. We know the card allows us to target a bronze unit from our opponent's graveyard, banish it, and then we are boosting an allied unit by its power, right? Okay, so I mean there's a few kinds of ways we can utilize this card. In a sense, it has the same mechanics as a squirrel card, right? With the squirrel card, as you guys know, it banishes a card from your opponent's graveyard. The only difference here is that, this card that we're using now, this new one, obviously it can't banish any card, it's targeting units. But keep in mind it's got a squirrel mechanic to it. So let's roll with that. So, there's a number of cards that we're seeing currently in the meta that people are using from the graveyard being bronzes, which is what I'm going to show you now, and those are the kind of cards we're going to look to target. So I'm going to take it from the bottom, and then we're going to work our way up top through all the kind of bronzes that we're seeing at this time. So, I mean, we're here at this stage. Crow Messenger is quite a good target to use our card on. Obviously, we know how this card works. This card gets summoned with its other copy from the graveyard. Usually in Druid decks we see this. This might be a card you would like to target with our new card. So obviously our new card is going to provide us some kind of graveyard manipulation aspect as well. So keep this in mind, guys. I believe the Crow Messenger is quite a good target. In addition to that, what else do we have here? So we've got some units that go kind of tall that we're seeing at the moment. We're even seeing these units here that are played with Nilfgaard a lot. I mean, that's a 7-powered unit, so boosting an allied unit by 7 isn't bad if you want to use it in that capacity outside of graveyard manipulation. There are more better cards to target than that. This is another good card that we can target as well. We're seeing that a bit at this time. Wild Hunt card. Recently, Wild Hunt, they got a buff to the Frost play, so you might see more of these being played. So maybe that's worth keeping in mind as a target. Once again, a decent boost to be getting out of that. In addition to that, guys, what else can we find here that we'd like to target with it? I would say these are also good cards to target. Obviously, we know that, when you're versing Lippy decks, right, with Soraeus, the way Soraeus is played is she spawns one of these. Later on down the line in the match, our opponent's going to go through their deck, summon all copies back out once they play Soraeus. Such is the way this card is activated. You might want to keep in mind to kind of reduce some of their value. You could target some of these cards of theirs. It's not necessarily going to give you the boost and the benefit boost wise that you're looking for, but it will give you the graveyard manipulation aspect and deny them some carryover value. So that's quite good too. Same thing goes with the Blue Stripes Commandos. We know it's a carryover card. Generally in the triple commando decks, you see a lot of these get spawned and played. You might wish to target this with our new card as well. Other cards that we can target could be Ice Giant. They go pretty tall, so you could use that for the boosting aspect. Nilfgaardian Knight, we're starting to see that played with Ivar decks that which run Ivar, so that could be a good target for you to use as a boost. The Griffin here, we're seeing that played a bit now also. Bear Witcher goes quite tall. It is a bronze, so we can meet the condition easily to use that boost. So another great bronze this would pay off for in terms of boost wise would be the On-Crate Greatsword. Wow, you guys are going to get some excellent value out of this in particular. You can imagine it's going to be a 10-pound unit in your opponent's graveyard, but targeting it with the new release card will play for big values. Keep that in mind. This is a card we see often as well, so it could be quite consistent to play in your deck. Other cards that we'd like to target, obviously this new card has a condition where outside of bronzes it can target gold cards and banish them. So some gold cards you'd like to target, we can go through them right now actually. So once again, you're thinking in terms of boosting or graveyard manipulation. So if I'm thinking in terms of graveyard manipulation, I'm thinking of targeting Pavetta. If I was to come across that, this would be a good target for our card, especially in the triple commandos package. Obviously, in order to play triple commandos, they need to renew the Pavetta. So once you see Pavetta played, you can go ahead and use our card on it and banish that away. It could be quite a good play to deny our opponents some great value in terms of carryover. Other gold that we could target, I mean, Egan's a good one, isn't it? Egan's quite a good target. Getting rid of this. Opponents which run Egan in the deck, usually they have Osril in there to get that value out of Egan once they play it in the first round. So this is once again going to deny your opponent some value by banishing this card. So you may wish to consider that. Also, as I was explaining with the Soraeus play before, banishing those bronzes, I mean, even Soraeus in itself, this is a great target as well, isn't it? you know, we're going to deny them a lot of value by banishing this. So once again, keep that in mind. This race is quite good. Also, you could go for Colgrim. I mean, why is that? Because people, they like to play Colgrim in the first round, renew it later down the line. Perhaps Colgrim is a good banish target, once again, just to deny the opponent of this strategy. Also Madoc. Madoc is a gold, but banishing Madoc could be quite a good play too, where an opponent has a deck full of bombs, heavily relying on a Madoc strategy. You can really deny them that value by banishing this card. So that's the way I believe this card could be used. Those are just some of my ideas. I'm sure in time more will be found. You guys could probably come up with a lot of ideas yourself. In terms of the leader ability to use this card with, we know it's an organic card, right? So it makes sense to me that we could go ahead and use this in an Arrakis Swarm deck. Why is that? Because whenever you play an organic card, spawn drone on a random allied row. So playing our new card could add support to the Arrakis Swarm leader and that form of play, because it's giving us an extra unit on the field every time we use that. So it could give more support in that sense. Okay, so those are just some of my brief ideas, guys. I'm sure you'll come up with more in your own time. But all in all, that is the overview for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your support, and hope to talk to you all very soon.